This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
It has been a busy couple days for your humble host. Yesterday, I was at the Capitol, standing with a group of vets behind members of Congress and members of the Senate who were giving speeches about the needs of Ukraine and about funding for support as Ukraine is in a fight for its life against an invasion, a brutal, dictatorial, authoritarian invasion. It literally is the fight between dictatorship and democracy, and we need to be doing everything we can to help in that effort. And I'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow. I've got some footage that I need to deal with relative to video. And today I was in the White House, a meeting with the White House regarding those same things. So that's not what I want to talk about today. That'll be for tomorrow, maybe the next day. I need to, I talk about tooting my horn a lot, do I not? I like to make predictions. One, as a signal to the audience that maybe I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, but also, it's fun to make predictions to see if they come true. But it's also important that while not tooting your horn, if you make a mistake, to toot the other horn. And that's what happened. The other day I did a video late in the evening on Monday. For Tuesday, I did a video about the attempted coup in the House to remove Speaker McCarthy by Matt Gaetz. And I said, very unlikely this is going to happen. My prediction is this isn't going to go anywhere. And boy, was I wrong. I didn't count on a few different members who actually joined to remove McCarthy. I didn't count on a Nancy Mace. I didn't necessarily count on a Tim Burchett. Who knew what he was going to be communicating with God in his prayers to find out what he should do about voting against Kevin McCarthy. Here are the cast of characters who voted against him. These are the people who removed him. Andy Biggs of Arizona, Ken Buck of Colorado, Tim Burchett of Tennessee, Eli Crane, the out-of-work magician, now Congressman, Eli Crane of Arizona, Matt Gaetz, of course, of Florida, Bob Good of Virginia, Nancy Mace of South Carolina, and the human buzzcut, Matt Rosendale of Montana, although if you listen to him, you can tell he's from the Mid-Atlantic and Maryland. What is playing out is remarkable. Kevin McCarthy and Republicans are trying to put this out there. They're trying to posture this as some kind of a move by Democrats to remove Kevin McCarthy, as though the motion was brought to the floor by the Democratic Party. They can't even take credit for the things that are absolutely Republican initiated. And I'm going to talk about that, but I want to paint the picture here. I got a list of things that really happened that set this thing in motion. AOC did a video. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez did a video, I believe, on Instagram where she outlined this. And I want to talk about how this was absolutely self-immolation. This was absolutely self-harm, self-inflicted fatal damage on the part of Kevin McCarthy. First, Congress was supposed to be in recess, but for some inexplicable reason, he called them back into session, which gave Matt Gaetz the opportunity to do what he did. Who knows, given a little bit of time, what would have been accomplished or not been accomplished by the Chaos Caucus. If a motion to vacate the chair is launched, the Speaker has 48 hours to shore up his support before the vote. And he waived that 48 hours. He's just begging for it. And I don't know if it's out of arrogance or out of just ignorance, or maybe some unholy amalgam of the two. Kevin McCarthy recently got a clean continuing resolution through to fund the government based on whatever arrangement they had at current levels or slightly depreciated levels for the next 45 days. And then he went on TV because it was Democrats that got that through. It's Democrats that wanted it passed. It's Democrats that got it passed. And then he went on TV and bashed Democrats for trying to shut down the government, which is just Republican propaganda. That's all that is. So from the very beginning of this, he's throwing cold water all over Democrats. He's tossing them under the bus for things they did not do and they had no part in. And then when it comes time for him to need the support of the Democratic Party, of Democrats in Congress, he left them out. He didn't offer them anything by way of compromise, like, look, they're trying to get me out of here. Here's what I will offer you as a compromise if indeed you stave this off. If you are able to stop the Andy Biggs and the Ken Bucks and the Tim Burchetts and the Eli Cranes and the Matt Gaetz and the Bob Goods and the Nancy Maces and the Rosendales, I'll do something for you. After all, government is compromise. That's our system. Here's a clip of Kevin McCarthy pre-vote. And even pre-vote, he's subtly insinuating that this is somehow on the Democrats. Watch this.
Expecting Democrats to back you up then?
No, I personally am not.
Do you need their help to remain in leadership?
No. If five Republicans go with Democrats, then I'm out. So it's whether.
Likely.
Probably so.
Do you need Democrats' help? No. If 5 Republicans vote with Democrats, meaning the Democrats initiated this is their thing, and if they happen to peel off some Republicans to vote with them, then I'm out. This wasn't a Democrat endeavor. This was Matt Gaetz. This was the most radical elements of an already radical party in action. Matt Gaetz. MAGA extraordinaire. So it is stupid and really, from my perspective, ineffectual. I mean, that's Kevin McCarthy's middle name, ineffectual, to try to place this blame on Democrats in Congress. Here he is post-vote, laying it on even thicker, blaming Democrats.
You know what's interesting? Everybody's sitting there. In today's world, if you're sitting in Congress and you took a gamble to make sure government was still open, and 8 people can throw you out as Speaker, and the Democrats who said they wanted to keep government open, I think you've got a real divide. I think you've got a real institutional problem. Interesting, it was in this room after we had won the majority, I hadn't became Speaker last, and Nancy Pelosi came to me. She was Speaker at the time on the way out. And I told her I was having issues with getting enough votes. And she said, what's the problem? I said, they want this one person can rule you out. She was the only Speaker to have changed that rule. I had the power to call the vote on her, but I never would. I lost some votes because of it. And she said, just give it to him. I'll always back you up. I made the same offer to Boehner and same thing to Paul, because I believe in the institution. I think today was a political decision by the Democrats. And I think the things they have done in the past hurt the institution. When they just started removing people from committee. And they just started doing the other things. And my fear is the institution fell today. Because you can't do the job if 8 people, you have 94% or 96% of your entire conference, but 8 people can partner with the whole other side. How do you govern? And for them to make a motion on me because I made a decision for the country that they agreed with, but they choose to do the other, that becomes a problem. Yeah.
Do you think we've got a real institutional divide? Former Speaker Kevin McCarthy, you gave the maniacs the keys to the car. You gave these idiots immense power over you. And now you want to whine when they've eaten your face. You know, what's the adage about people being shocked that the face-eating leopard ate their faces? That's what we're witnessing right here with Kevin McCarthy. So who's going to be the next speaker? That's the question. Jim Jordan, of course, has officially put his name in the ring to be Speaker of the House. If you thought a Kevin McCarthy speakership was a nightmare, imagine imagine it being Jim Jordan. There is another person who is being put out there as a possible speaker, and that is Donald Trump. In fact, last night, Sean Hannity talked about from his sources that he's being floated out there as a name, and indeed, Donald Trump is willing to help out the Republicans.
McCarthy will not seek the speakership again. Now, sources telling me at this hour some House Republicans have been in contact with and have started an effort to draft former President Donald Trump to be the next speaker. And I have been told that President Trump might be open to helping the Republican Party, at least in the short term, if necessary, if it's needed. Anyway.
Helping the Republican Party. Unfortunately for these idiots who have no respect for the rules they put in place, rule number 26 of the Republican House Conference states this: a member of the Republican leadership shall step aside if indicted for a felony for which a sentence of 2 or more years of imprisonment may be imposed. These are conference rules that were voted on before this session. They are in action for the entire Congress. But of course, Republicans don't care about the rules. They don't care about what is standard. They don't care about the things that they've agreed to, because there's no integrity in the Republican Party. So by their own rules, Donald Trump is not eligible at all, because he has indeed been indicted for crimes that will possibly incur 2+ years of imprisonment. Remember, 91 charges across 4 indictments. So we'll see. We'll see. It could be Jim Jordan. I'm gonna sit this one out, take my L, take my lumps that I was wrong. Never a dull moment when you have idiots in charge of government, to be sure. Look, I'd love to know what you think about this. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I'd love to hear from you. If you appreciate what I do, you want to help support my work, you want to help produce what we do here, click the join button below. You can become a channel member for $1.99 a month. You can hit the super thanks button, or you can go over to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. Those are great ways to help support what we're doing here. Follow me on social media for my travels across the city, at least for the last 2 days. Usually I am cooped up within the 4 walls of this studio. I'm at Dollemore on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, all of them at Dollemore. I'd love to see you there. And I will, as always, see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.